game, how the game went?
It's always disappointing when you're in a winning position and you lose the game. You could see a lot of the guys dead on their feet towards the end, and I think we paid the price for that. Memphis strongly came back and a little bit more imposing in the second half, but I think we still managed to control the bulk of the possession, but it's what you do with it. So obviously we're disappointed.
How's it been like for you trying to integrate? You got guys like Kevin Kratz, George Bello. These are guys that are trying to force their way back into the first team, but you have to integrate them into this squad as well. What's that been like trying to manage bringing those guys in along with some of these younger guys?
Yeah, that's the difficulty of what we do, but I think we know what the challenge is when we signed up for it, so it's great that we can play some of the academy players with someone like Kevin Kratz, you know what I mean? So it gives those guys an opportunity to see what a professional plays like on the pitch, and it hopefully it inspires them to want to play in the first team level. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest factor for our players, is that we are trying to prepare them for the first team level. So obviously the first team staff come to the games and things, and they see how they perform, and they decide whether that's relative to the first team or not. So I think our guys have got opportunities. Whether they grasp it often enough is another matter, but the opportunities will keep coming. Because we've got a good system in place that we help the first team, and that's what the job is.
I wanted to ask you about speaking of kind of like professional guys, but on the other end of the age scale, I was asking Jack about Will Riley. He's really come on of late, and Jack was kind of praising his general professionalism and his brain, on the field. What have you seen from him since he's kind of been able to make a stamp on the team?
He's been excellent. Himself and Garrison Tubbs. So they're both 16-year-old, come out under 17 last year that I know are doing them very well. They continued that under Tony Annan, so they were progressing really well. So we felt like they deserved an opportunity to progress in this group, and they've grabbed it with both hands. Mm-hmm. We obviously had Claggett and Jordan Matthews as well, so we shouldn't forget those two lads as well. But I think the quality that Tubbs and Riley have shown in the last two games especially is really, really good to see. I think they're ready to kick on. I think they've got a good future. I think as long as they keep doing the right things, preparing their bodies the right way, hopefully we'll see them be good professionals.
I got to ask what it's like playing against a team that has an Atlanta United player on it with Lagos Kunga. What's that like as a manager? Are you keeping an eye on what he's doing? I mean, I know you're obviously focused on the team, but is there...
Yeah, of course. We watch the games all the time, so we see what Lagos is doing. He's not started the game for a while, probably based on what their management are seeing in training. I'm sure that's how they picked their team. But they chose to put him in tonight. He got an hour. I think we shut him down pretty well. He had a couple of opportunities. He's obviously a dangerous player, very positive, and he's getting more game time potentially than he might have got here at the minute. So he's looked to me like tonight like he's progressing well. So it's a case of we'll see where that one goes.
One last one from me. I just wanted to ask you about Brandon Vazquez. Generally, just his overall development, kind of from where he was when you first saw him to where he is now. It seems like he's made a lot of progression, kind of rounding out his game as a center forward.
Yeah, he's probably going to have up and down spells within his young career. So he's still a young player. He's obviously behind Joseph Martinez as a first team player at Atlanta, which is a difficult spot to be in. But I think if he can continue to score goals for us, continue to work hard, learn how to be a number 9 if you like, and obviously get himself as a backup role to Joseph as best as he can, that when the manager's looking at the bench for goals, he starts thinking Brandon Vasquez. I think that's got to be Brandon's aim. He's working in the right direction. He found it difficult tonight, playing against two really, really experienced centre-backs, which is great for his development. So the more 90 minutes, in my opinion, that Brandon plays, the better a footballer he's going to become and quicker.
Two things for me. Two players that you've seen the development of, George Bello and Miles Robinson, have been called through to the United States national team internationally. What's that like, seeing those two guys mature and get on a national radar with their time with Atlanta United?
It's a positive for the club. Anytime your players get international recognition is great. So it shows that we're doing the right things. It shows that the players are developing along the right path, and hopefully they go to the national team, maybe learn something new that we don't tell them, and come back even better players. So that would be the aim. Hopefully they come back fit, healthy, and ready to help us again as the season.
And then lastly, condensed schedule coming up. You had tonight's match, one next Wednesday, and then on a Saturday. So 3 matches in 10 days. And you mentioned fatigue already. How do you get these guys just fit and ready for this stretch coming up?
It's a case of getting them to recover now, and then we prepare for the game starting. We'll probably give them a couple of days to really lighten the load, and then Saturday we'll start again. try to. I know it's Labour Day weekend, but not for us. So we'll prepare and we'll get them ready for Wednesday night, which will be another tough game. Birmingham are going well. We've got another former player, Anderson Asiedi, who's coming back. So it'll be an interesting game. It's one we're looking forward to, and it's another chance for the boys to learn.